When Sarah walked back into our home after 8 long months of separation, she carried a strange mix of emotions. Her eyes were glassy, her tone trembling between guilt and pride. I stood by the window, watching her put her bag down like she had just come back from a short trip, not from walking out on a marriage she once called her safe place. She looked around the living room like it was a memory she was trying to relive. "You've changed the curtains," she said softly. I smiled faintly and replied, "Yes, a lot has changed." Sarah had left saying she needed time to find herself. That time apparently included a man named Daniel, someone I had never met but whose presence I had felt in her sudden distance, in her cold messages, in her laughter that no longer belonged to our house. Now she stood there, trying to look fragile, maybe even repentant. "I've been thinking a lot," she began, her voice breaking just slightly. "About us, about what we had." I didn't interrupt her. I wanted to hear what story she had prepared. She went on about realizing how much I meant to her, how she missed my kindness, my calmness, how no one else understood her the way I did. It was a performance, one that might have worked if I hadn't already seen the truth months ago. I had seen photos online, her and Daniel, smiling, traveling, living freely. She must have thought I was too naive to notice. When she finally stopped talking, she looked at me, expecting something, anger, forgiveness, or even tears. But all I did was smile, the same calm, unreadable smile she used to find comforting. "You've really thought this through," I said quietly. She nodded quickly, maybe thinking it was a sign that I still cared. "Yes, I realized I made a mistake," she said, stepping closer. "Daniel wasn't who I thought he was. He changed when things got hard. He wasn't stable like you." At that moment, I looked right into her eyes and said his name, "Daniel," with a tone so calm it froze her in place. "Yes," she stuttered. "I don't even want to talk about him." But my smile didn't fade. That small, knowing smile carried the weight of every silent night, every ignored call, every moment she chose him over me. She tried to read my expression, but I could see the panic flicker in her eyes. "I know," I said finally, still smiling. "I know everything." Her lips parted, but no words came out. The color drained from her face. What do you mean?" she whispered. I walked past her and picked up the photo frame from the table. It was the old wedding picture she'd once taken with her when she left. "He called me, you know," I said, my voice low and even. "Daniel. 3 months ago." Sarah's eyes widened in disbelief. He called you?" she asked, her hands trembling. I nodded slowly. "He wanted to apologize. He said he didn't know you were married when you first met. He said you lied to him." Her body stiffened, and tears formed at the corners of her eyes. "He told me everything, Sarah. Every detail you tried to hide under the word confusion." She collapsed onto the sofa, covering her face. "I was lost," she murmured. "I didn't know what I was doing." I watched her cry, not out of heartbreak, but out of regret for being caught. "You wanted freedom," I said quietly, "and I gave it to you. Now you've come back, but this isn't the same home anymore." For a while, the room was silent except for her sobs. She finally looked up and said, "Can't we start again? I'll do anything to make it right." There was sincerity in her voice, but it was too late. The foundation of trust had already been burned. "Sarah," I said gently, "you didn't lose me because of Daniel. You lost me when you thought I wouldn't see your truth." Her tears kept falling, and she reached for my hand, but I stepped back. "I'm not angry," I told her. "I just don't have space in my life for someone who treats love like a season." She stared at me, lost for words, realizing that my calm smile was no longer a sign of forgiveness, it was the sign of closure. "I thought you'd never move on," she said bitterly. "You're still wearing the same ring." I looked down at it and then removed it from my finger. "No," I said, setting it on the table. "I was waiting for peace, not for you." Her expression broke completely, and I could see the full weight of her choices settling on her shoulders. As she gathered her things, she turned to me one last time. "Does he still talk to you?" she asked weakly. I smiled again, this time without bitterness. "No," I said. "He doesn't need to. He already told me what I needed to hear." She nodded slowly, unable to speak further. When she walked out of the door, the silence felt different, not heavy or sad, but free. I took a deep breath, feeling years of pain lift off my chest. My smile wasn't about revenge or pride, it was about peace, about knowing I had faced betrayal without becoming bitter. That night, as I sat by the window again, the city lights glowing softly outside, I realized something simple yet powerful. Sometimes, the best answer to someone's drama is calm truth. No shouting, no anger, just a smile that says you already know everything. And when I thought of Daniel's name again, it didn't hurt anymore. It just reminded me that losing someone who couldn't be loyal was, in the end, my greatest gain.